5, 16, 19, 21, 33, and 10. Check results. You remember?
What a day, Dr. Way, all that good stuff. Boxing happened, other stuff happened, and I'm here because that's what I am. That's what because I never leave this space. As soon as I tap that off, I just sit here dormant for the next day to go again for 15 minutes. I get wound up like a little wind up toy, and then I just go blah 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 blah, and then they just shut me off again. And here I am now. I've just broken the fourth wall, and that's fine. Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury won again against another YouTuber. I didn't watch it. I think I've discovered I don't like boxing, which I think I've always known. I've always known this deep down. I like football. I like Formula One. I like the idea of playing golf. Well, it's just not accessible. I'm sorry. To me, it's like, unless you go like Top Golf or something, or like a driving range, I guess. But like football, it's like there's just a ball that rolls. And not to say Formula One is accessible. There's no, I can't even drive, so that's kind of crucial. But just like football is obviously the most accessible. It's like you just have a ball, you can roll, you can play it in your front room. You don't even need a ball. People play with socks and use jumpers for goalposts. As the classic phrase goes. Golf's just too expensive for entry. Like, you got to get all these clubs. You got to like get lessons. Like, there's like an etiquette you just don't know, but everyone probably expects you to know, I guess. And it feels like the only thing that's actually really fun in like if you're rich, because like not even if you have the clubs and you've done the lessons and like you know the etiquette and you're wearing the right dress code, right? You're probably just playing at like some bang average golf courses, and you're like, this isn't what I thought. Like, I kind of want to be in like Norway, like in between some hills. Like, this is like, but there's a lot of things like that. Like, I was never good at football, but if I was half decent, like if I was good enough to play like League Two, even professional, I wasn't even good semi-pro. I was not even good school level. But if I was, I still wouldn't be a professional, because even though I love football, I love enjoying it, I love watching it, I love playing it, I love it's on my mind most of the day, every day. But there's some things, like if I was to do it, I'd only want to do it if I was one of the best, or was doing it like not even necessarily one of the best, but like, well, yeah, one of the best, and also in the best way possible, like in the dream version of it. So it's like, yeah, golf seems like it could be fun, a nice little social thing. But if it's not on like one of the best courses with like, the best equipment, it's like, do I like it enough where I'd want to just do it fucking at some like golf course in Essex somewhere, or like fucking like in Chigwell, seems like they'd have a golf course or something. It's like, no. And it's like same with being a pro. I know I'm meant to be talking about boxing, but it's same with being like a pro baller, right? If I was doing it right and I was like Swindon Town, it's like I don't fucking care. I don't want to like. And I have to be careful actually, because I remember there was a thing that went out on Twitter of two people. Well, there was like three of them. They weren't arguing, and also I could tell they were saying it kind of with jest. Like they did mean what they were saying in a way, but also they were saying it kind of as like a laughing at it kind of way. But saying, why would you support a team if it's not in the Premier League? Like, those people who support teams in the Championship or League One or League Two, like they must also support a Prem team and stuff, and they basically got slaughtered. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that games that aren't in the Premier League mean nothing. It's just that if I wasn't good enough to be at the pinnacle in the Prem, or like, getting selected for England with the nice facilities basically and the biggest crowds, like it just wouldn't be. I'd rather just basically do something else. That is not the same point. I'm separating myself from that, especially because recently I was watching that Wrexham documentary. I binged like 20 episodes, because I remember I started it when it first came out on season 1, and I got like 6 episodes in. I was enjoying it enough, but I just never finished it. And then now I went back, I was like, there's 18 episodes in the first season, and they got 7 out for the second. So I effectively watched 15, not that many, maybe like 12 from the first season I didn't watch, and then the 7 up till now, like all in a row non-stop basically. First time I binged something in a long time, because I don't watch a lot of TV. And I enjoyed it, and it's good, and that's like National League football. They got quite a nice stadium, because obviously in that season they played Dagenham Redbridge in the first season. And if they win that game, and I can't remember who it was, Chesterfield maybe, or someone else loses, then they would have got promoted in that season. And Dagenham Redbridge beat them. And Dagenham Redbridge is like not too far Like I actually played at that stadium before, and I think I got subbed off after like 25 minutes. So, but yeah, Dagenham Redbridge, obviously, their stadium. Like if you look at some of the other stadiums in the league, basically comparable to Wrexham. So Wrexham have quite a nice stadium, but still 10,000 seats. It's National League, so it's not even like pro football technically. And you know, when you watch it, you see the fans in that and how much it means to everyone. Especially that one guy who like just seems a lot just to talk to in conversation, but like he's the biggest Wrexham fan. He can't even stay in the stadium at one point. He's like, it's just too much. Like he just loves it, right? It's like I think it means if maybe it means even more actually. You could argue to those people who are like not in the Premier League all the time. And I don't doubt they also what like I think there's a different point. They were saying they must have a team they also support in the Prem. They can't just enjoy that football, which is obviously crazy. Like I'm sure they still like also all watch the Premier League. Like I'm sure like people who support teams in the Premier League, yeah, sure, they probably don't watch Championship. Maybe they do watch Championship, but they don't watch League One, League Two, like consistently, right? But I'm sure most people who support teams in lower leagues do watch the Premier League week in week out. But it doesn't mean they're supporting anyone and they need to do it because it's not. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm not saying that though. Okay. It's crazy. Like technically, if we're talking about support your local, um, if we're not talking about semi-pro teams and that, then the local would be West Ham, and I would have been enduring that. I would have watched relegations in my life. It would be very different, you know. I would have watched us win the European trophy relatively recently, which would have felt huge. Obviously, I've seen my team win European trophies, but as a West Ham fan, I'd be wearing claret and blue. It's crazy. And I didn't actually. I know seems like if you ever don't support your local, it just seems like a glory hunter kind of thing, which obviously isn't true, because no matter who you support, like firstly, when you pick your team, you're probably a kid. So if you picked a team because they were the best, like there's loads of people right who picked Man United to be their team because they were six and United were the best in the league and they liked United and that's why they're a United fan. But they're from, you know, Brighton maybe, right? And that's fine. It's not really glory hunting. You're a kid. It's just like no one gave me a team. I picked United because they seem to be the best, right? You then grow up and look at United now. Like they got to endure all of this and all this embarrassment and like their club just has been sold to not who they wanted basically, and like it's not going great. And it's like if they then jumped ships after as an adult, like oh it's not going great United off to City, then yeah, that's. But like if you've had a team your whole life, it doesn't really matter. The reason I support Chelsea, I don't even know. I think it's just one of those things when you're not assigned a club as a kid from like a parent or an older relative or cousin or a sibling or something. No one in my family likes football. Then it's kind of just random how you end up with your team. And I didn't like football naturally on my own either. So it wasn't like I looked at the teams and went, who's doing the best? I pick them. I think, and I'm just guessing because I don't know, but I think it's because I had a friend in primary who supported Chelsea and I was just a little sheep. So if anyone asked me what team do you support, even though I didn't like football as a kid at that age, I would have said Chelsea just because of him. But I didn't know where Chelsea were in the league. I didn't know how good their team was. I didn't know anything about them. So I was basically just faking it, trying to fit in that I liked football and I didn't really ever watch it. Saying Chelsea. And then eventually I was like, okay, I ended up getting into it more, finding about Chelsea a bit more. And it was more luck that they happened to be fairly successful at the time over anything else. And there's been a couple bad seasons. I mean, we're kind of in one right now. Was in one last season, finished 14th. Obviously, the season with Mourinho before Conte came, we finished 10th. No relegation scares, but not great seasons nonetheless. Stuff you'd want to avoid. Let's say that. You can see how much I don't like boxing. I've managed to pivot off it from 10 minutes, but like, even though I like Formula One and boxing and football way more than boxing, which I don't claim to like at all. I get a feeling when watching boxing that I don't get, or I do get from football and stuff, but it's just so much stronger. And I think it's because in football, it's come in every week, like once a week, twice a week, right? It's kind of always there. And if you lose, it's annoying and it ruins your weekend and stuff, but you'll get your chance for redemption, I guess, like in 3 days or a week or something. And like, I don't know, the stakes of losing a boxing match is just pure embarrassment, like getting knocked out, right, like losing 1-0 to Bournemouth. Oh, that's annoying. Like that's the version of a knockout, right? Your week to week knockout. But like the thing about boxing matches is they come round rare. They're like, you don't fight often and then when you do fight, it's like you could be so much better, but then you just get knocked out, and the embarrassment of it. And it's like, if there's for whatever reason someone's boxing, it's like a character, like a person I like, and I root for them. I can't even watch it. I'm like, I'd rather scroll Twitter and see people live tweeting about it and find out what's happening that way than watching it live. Just because even if someone's way better than that person, if I want this person to win, it's like within a second they could be knocked out, and so everything that comes with that. I just don't enjoy it. But yeah, all that YouTube stuff was happening. It went as good. It went as well as it could have. Tommy Fury won by the skin of his teeth. He beat Jake Paul on a split decision. He won this on a split decision. Ultimately, he got his win and he got his bag and that. But it's like, I can't tell if like the YouTubers have just done decent work to get to a decent boxing level, or if Tommy Fury just isn't very good, like just is not that good, and he should be better than he is, I guess. Like, but okay. Here's the thing: Vidal Riley. I'd really want him to beat Tommy Fury. I'd really want him to beat Tommy Fury, and I don't care about boxing or know any other rules really, apart from don't punch people in the back of the head, don't punch below the belt, I guess. You gets added up for how many times you hit them. I don't know if headshots mean more. I guess they do. It's like fucking Call of Duty. I know like rounds. Like I know the basic rules, but I don't really know any techniques or like I don't know what people are going on about, right? But I'd really want Vidal to win. So like in a way, the feeling I'd have watching it as they're about to walk up, like it would just be like so tense, like a feeling like you'd feel for like a big game final or something in football. Even though I don't like boxing, or really even like I don't follow Vidal Riley's career that closely, or like, I just kind of want him to beat Tommy Fury. Like even like it's weird. It's like I like Chelsea way more than I like Vidal, and I like this stuff way more. But even like I don't know. I don't know. In a way, I would feel the same way if it was like Mark Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk, because I really don't like Elon Musk. But it's like what I'm trying to describe is the people in it. I don't even have to be invested that much. Even if I'm invested a little bit, I'll feel way more tense and nervous and like on edge as it's building up. Just because I guess there's a threat of like a knockout is so much more visceral and like painful than like other sports where if you lose it and you move on, right? So yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, he won. I don't really know what this does for him now. That like what he just goes back to boxing and trying to be a world champion. That probably won't happen. I'm trying to crush his dream. I'm not saying he should stop, do your thing, but I'm not really sure what his thing is now. Vidal's kind of saying, don't even put my name in this conversation. This guy's shit. But obviously that's just stuff that would also build the profile in the fight. That would be like a natural good next one, and then after that, I don't know what he does if he loses. But I didn't. So basically, I didn't watch any of the fights. I just was scrolling and seeing people live tweet it and watched it all that way, because it's just like that's just fighting. I guess that's just what fighting is. I just never be a fan of it really. I like what I like. I think I'm gonna stick with football and Formula One. Golf hasn't really came into my life. Is there any other sports that could infiltrate it? I'm not sure. I think it probably will just remain. I mean, athletics actually does a little bit when that comes around. I quite like that. I got my guys Inga Britson, Fem Cabal, Duplantis. Honestly, there's not many British people actually support that much in the athletics world, but not that the three people I just named are basically the people who win every races. That sounds kind of glory honey, but yeah, that's all. Is there anything else you just say on that? I mean, I hope this isn't echoing this mic, which I keep fucking up every single time. But we're learning. I think that's all. Even though I titled this basically all around boxing, I know I skirted around it and barely spoke about it once because I just don't have the interest to actually go into it. Like, the most annoying thing now is like there'll be so many videos that are going to be like 30 minutes long where people break down every fight and like talk about it, and it's like I will get past this week of content now. People just get out of their system and talk about it because I just don't care that much. much. But yeah, that's all holiday Dr. Waste. It's like 258 or 9 maybe, or 7. No, not 7. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. So thank you. Dankeschön.
Here with the kids, and they had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet, like a Euro.